Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very important live stream. I'm going to read you everything that was released by Elon Musk. We'll read Matt Taibbi's description of these Twitter files and internal conversations on why and how they suspended the New York Post and overtly sided with one political party. This is pretty obvious. We knew what they were doing, but like the DNC emails, this is confirmation, absolute confirmation that an entire platform was siding against Donald Trump. Okay? And so, without every conceivable advantage, where would that political party be? Hit subscribe to my super chat. I cannot thank you enough. Debbie, hello. Kristen, Joe, Eric Samurai, Joel Valdez, Richard, hello. Everybody here, hello. This is a very, very important segment. And let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe if you want to be part of a newsletter. Ladies and gentlemen, it's contactgoodman88 at gmail.com. That's contactgoodman88 at gmail.com. Email me to be part of a newsletter. Law2258, hello, let's get started. Well, he starts off, Elon Musk, with, here we go. Then we get to the Twitter files. And to my super chat, again, I cannot thank you enough. I'm going to read through all of this, and then I will thank everyone on the super chat and get to your super chat. I just want to read all of this in a continuous manner. But here, thread, the Twitter files. This is by Matt Taibbi. And you look, and it's, okay, what you're about to read is the first installment in a series based on thousands of internal documents obtained by sources at Twitter. The Twitter files tell an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It's a Frankensteinian tale of a human-built mechanism grown out of control of its designer. 4. Twitter, in its conception, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people, quote, the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. Okay, so, all right, so let's continue. Sorry about there might be some buffering. I apologize. If there is. But so let's continue. As time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools for controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Slowly, over time, Twitter staff and executives began to find more and more uses for these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well, first a little, then more often, then constantly. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team. This is an infringement of the First Amendment. The reply would come back, handled. Okay, so this is really important. More would come back from the Biden team. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. Could you imagine if Trump had this? I mean, these are the people who, are the most apoplectic, hysterical, obsessive, obsessively focused on democracy and authoritarianism, they're the ones who promote this Orwellian censorship and suppression. You cannot speak your mind. And there's a difference between Ye getting kicked off of Twitter, and you could make a free speech case that he should have stayed, even though it is extremely offensive to me. But I I oppose offensive speech through logic and reason and rational dialogue and thought. So as a Jewish American, yeah, it's extremely offensive to me. So I don't know, like, it's a judgment call from Elon Musk, but at the same time, what Democrats have done is they've said, oh, well, Trump is just like Kanye. It's like, no, he's not. The New York Post and Ye are the same. They should all be lumped in the same, and the people hanging out with Ye and anything that is material that is, emails or information that shows the corruption and criminality within the Democratic Party. It's like, no. Some things we need to talk about. Most things we need to talk about. And in this reincarnation or this evolution of Twitter, you really have to take a, gigantic dump in the middle of the room to get kicked off. It's not just speaking about Democratic Party politics or corruption within the Democratic Party. Now you're going to be able to talk about corruption and criminality within the Democratic Party without Twitter silencing. How this always happens. I bought a new computer, ladies and gentlemen, so hopefully the new computer will help out. Sorry about that again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. So let's continue. I apologize, ladies. This is actually the First Amendment. Ladies and gentlemen, am I back? Thank you, Ronald. Thank you so very much. Am I back, ladies and gentlemen? Take this nice poll. Thanks, everybody. Josiah, hello. Tammy, hello. Mikey, hello. Matt, Joel, Valdez, Debbie, Eric, Samurai, hello. All right, let's get back to business. Hopefully this works now. And so, to my super chat, thank you again. All right, so celebrities and unknown alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party, Democratic Party. Which parties had access to these tools? For example, requests from the Trump House and Biden campaign were received and honored. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's like, that's what Democrats calling both sides of it. The Democratic Party controlled Twitter. Okay, it wasn't. Trump had, if he had one or two requests granted, congratulations. But first of all, Matt Taibbi is fantastic. He is a wonderful, wonderful journalist. He's fantastic. He's a great journalist. Absolutely fantastic journalist. So I'm not like venting at him. I'm saying the reality is the Democrats controlled Twitter, and we're finding this out. The system wasn't balanced, and he acknowledges that. It was based on context because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There was no supporter of Trump. There was not even one. Check fate. Hello, Joel Valdez. That's right. Joel Valdez, a.k.a. my super chat. My man, Joel Valdez. Um, love you, Joel. Thank you. And so, but check fate. Thank you. To my super chat, thank you. The system wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts. Okay, so it wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts. Because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation, there were more channels, more ways to complain open to the left. Democrats than the right. Of course, it was a digital extension of the Democratic Party, and what happened was they enforced sensibilities. This is about enforcing emotion. It's about enforcing sensibilities. Okay? What you feel is good and just. What you feel is good and just. Okay? That's what that's about. Okay? And so that's what that was about. It was about a battle for emotion. It was about a battle for emotion. That's what we saw. That's what was going on. And like we saw that. I mean, you have to understand, without these advantages, Jimmy Kimmel, Late Night, Stephen Colbert, Saturday Night Live, Twitter, you know, the Washington Post, the New York Times, they're barely holding on to the Senate, and they lost the House of Representatives, but they have every single possible advantage. Joel Valdez, where can I get some sensibilities? you have amazing sensibilities, Joel Valdez. Thank you. And so you have to understand. I mean, this is, it's about emotion. The resulting slant in content moderation decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it's also the assessment of multiple current and high-level executives. And then you have the New York Times today. Bad speech is on the rise more than ever before on Twitter. Okay, and you defeat it with logic and reason. And if you don't take a gigantic dump in the room, like some people, you'll stay on Twitter. Unlike if you said one thing that could be possibly viewed, you're out of Twitter and suspended forever and banned forever. And that's how it worked. And if you, God forbid, if you had anything about the Democratic Party, you were suspended and banned forever. So the New York Post was suspended because it actually engaged in journalism. That's the problem. That's the problem. The truth needs to be hidden for Democrats to actually be victorious. If the truth is told, then another country wanted Trump, and Bernie Sanders, and the DNC cheating Bernie Sanders was a plot, or the DNC emails were a plot by another country to inform you. Okay, that's how things go down, or that's how things went down. Okay, there was more throat clearing about the process. Let's jump forward. The Twitter Files Part 1, How and Why Twitter Blocked the Hunter Laptop Story. In October 2 years ago, the New York Post published Biden emails, an expose based on the contents of Hunter's abandoned laptop. And so Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings it may be unsafe. They even blocked its transmission via direct message, a tool hitherto reserved for extreme cases. White House spokesman Kayleigh McEnany was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from Trump campaign staffer. Proceed, at least pretend to care for the next 20 days. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Okay? This was not an accident. Kevin Duder! Kevin, thank you! Thank you, Kevin! FX Pest Operator, thank you. Thank you, Kevin! As always, Kevin, thank you so very, very, very much. Thank you, sir. I hope all is well. Hope everybody's having a great evening, everybody. Thanks for sticking by me as my computer continued to mess up. Kevin, thank you as always. This led to a public policy executive to send out a polite. Several employees noted there was tension between the communication policy team, who had little less control over moderation, and the safety and trust teams. The note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for the company's hacked material policy, but it was never hacked. This is the funny thing. They care more about how it was obtained than the truth behind the emails. Like, they wouldn't care at all. If another country said they hacked Trump's emails, they wouldn't have cared at all. They hide behind that because they were traumatized by the DNC emails that showed that they cheated Bernie Sanders. So, oh no, I haven't set up the new PC. This is the old PC. I have to set up the new one. Kevin, thank you again, sir. I hope you're having a great evening. Thank you. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from the federal law enforcement that summer about a possible, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in laptops, or in fact, that might be the problem. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO. I don't believe that. The former head of legal policy playing a key role. I don't believe Dorsey had no role in this at all. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. They just freelanced it, is how one former employee categorized the decision. Hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it. Well, they were all liberal Democrats. They knew exactly what they were doing. You can see the confusion in the following lengthy exchange with ends, including, the former trust and safety chief, a comms official writes, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for making this unsafe. Well, at the end of the day, it was harmful to the Democratic Party, and that's it. By this point, we knew a former employee, but the response essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. Yeah, they didn't care about an actual reason. Joel Valdez! Mitch, please tell us what...
Here they go again, suppressing the truth. To help the Democratic Party.
Mitch McConnell basically gave them the Senate. And then you have the National Review, and you have another, it's Trump's fault. Jeff Flake, McCain, Perdue, and Loeffler. Jeff Flake and McCain were openly hostile to Trump. Perdue and Loeffler weren't really supportive of Trump. Where are the never Bidens? You don't see Warnock hostile to Biden. If he was, he wouldn't even get close. So it's really unbelievable. But anyway, former VP of Global Communication, Brandon, can we truthfully claim this was part of the policy? They know what they're doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Okay. To which former Deputy General Counsel Jim Baker again seems to advise staying the non-course because caution is warranted. It all helped the Democratic Party. That's what this is about. It's only about pure politics and leverage and political power and influence. That's it. It was about trying desperately to get rid of Trump, and now all of these people in tech have lost their jobs, unfortunately. And I don't say that with glee. I say that unfortunately. They silenced speech, and they did not let a story that was actually true out there for people to debate because they wanted to just kick Trump out of office. That's what this was about. That's the only thing this was about. That's the only thing this was about. It wasn't about Like, and again, this is not like Matt Taibbi's a brilliant. He's a true journalist, along with Glenn Greenwald. These are true journalists. I might disagree with them on certain geopolitical issues, but possibly. But I think they're brilliant journalists. Matt Taibbi, Glenn Greenwald. There's a bunch of other great journalists. John Solomon. These are all fantastic journalists. A fundamental problem with tech companies and content. Many people in charge of speech care little about speech and have to be told the basics by outsiders. But they care little because they want one side to win. In a humorous exchange, Democratic Congressman O'Connor reaches out to gently suggest that she hop on the phone to talk about the backlash. Kano was the only Democratic official I could find in the files who expressed concern. He's actually one of the few very few that like is actually an intelligent, good human being. I'm sure there are a lot of good human beings, but he's a very like Ro Khanna is much more intelligent than most of the other Democrats. Christina B. Imitate a guy.
Oh, Christina, thank you so very much. Oh, thank you so very much, Christina. I'll do anything for money. I'll do anything for super chat. I, Mr. McConnell, Kevin, and Christina, thank you so very much. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
Christina, thank you so much. Christina, thank you. Kevin, thank you. Gad replies quickly, immediately diving into the weeds. I knew where Khanna was more worried about the Bill of Rights. Good for him. Khanna tried to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment, mention of which is generally hard to find in the files. They don't care. Twitter didn't care about the First Amendment. Within a day, the head of public policy received a ghastly letter from the research which had already polled 12 members of Congress, 9 hours, the House Judiciary. Let's Twitter know. A bloodbath awaits the upcoming Hill hearings with members. It's a tipping point. Complaint tech has grown so big they can't even regulate themselves, so government needs to intervene. See, again, these are Democrats. What they do is they intimidate platforms. They intimidate platforms. And the platforms then fold, but they actually want to fold. It's like they don't want, look, at the end of the day, every single day in American politics is get Trump, silence Trump, get Trump, bad Trump, bad Trump. Trump is bad. That's it. Make absurd leaps of logic. Like there's a 90s rocker who was like, oh yeah, Elon Musk, you're finally finding out that there are bad people that need to be. Like, he already knew this. The whole point was conflating actual harmful speech, which, by the way, there's a case to be made for free speech, allowing anything protected under the law. And I understand that case. I want, in my world, I oppose bigotry and prejudice with logic, reason, debate, discourse, discussion, rational thought. Everything Democrats dislike and are not capable of engaging in. They don't like debate. They want to silence because they think everyone's going to believe bad things. So when people say, "Oh, well, why did he suspend Ye?" I understand the vantage point, but Ye, like, there's a certain level where even Elon Musk's sensibilities are going to you're going to get suspended. But it's nothing like the content moderation team that we're seeing now. It's nothing like what we're seeing now. Thomas O'Connor, blessings, my friend. Blessings to you, Thomas. Thank you so very, very much. Thomas O'Connor, thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you. So it's like It's like, Thomas O'Connor, thank you so very much. And blessings to you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friend.
Uh, uh, Christina B. I want to thank you so very much. Richard McConnell thanks you. And Joe Valdez and everybody here. I'll do anything for money, especially Richard McConnell voice.
Kevin, thank you again. Kevin, thank you. Marshawn, hello. So, reports Twitter that some Hill individuals are characterizing the laptop story as text access Hollywood moment. Yeah, well, this is a million times worse than Access Hollywood. That was a hot mic. They made that was not. They thought the hot mic was a deposition. The First Amendment isn't absolute, but there are already laws that predate Twitter. The laws predate Twitter. There was one YouTuber who made an example. What if everyone takes a giant dump in a pool? Then if you allow people to take dumps in a pool, then everyone will take a dump in a pool. I wouldn't swim in that pool. Hello? If somebody tells me to take a dump in a swimming pool, I won't do it. And if I see anybody doing it, I'm leaving the pool. If you are listening to somebody and doing something illegal, you're going to go to jail. Okay, you've become then a criminal, or I should say, you're engaging in a criminal act. You might not be a hardened criminal, but you're like, if you make a statement that is not protected by law, then the laws that predate Twitter apply. That's why they can't accuse Trump of inciting or compelling anybody. They can't prove that in a court of law. The reason they didn't charge Hunter or Hillary is because they're protecting them is a different story. No one is going to say Merrick Garland is protecting Trump. If he could, he would. He can't, so he won't indict him. But people are going to say that Garland is obviously protecting Hunter. He can, he won't, because Hunter is related to Joe. Jenny White Bear, hello. Thank you, Jenny. CMW. Firstly, and term limits, yeah. Me should not have to deal with algos keep firing HA. Thank you so very much, CMW. Thank you. Thank you, CMW. Yeah, I mean, the term limits, that was an issue. And Joel Valdez, thank you as always. I want to read yours in a second. Jenny White Bear, so sweet of you. Thank you, Jenny. CMW, the term limits are very important. Very, very important. But they're going to fight tooth and nail because especially Democrats don't want term limits because it's very lucrative for them. So term limits, CMW, that is something I remember. I was an intern at the State Department in the late 90s.
I could have been an intern at the White House. I wouldn't have liked that too much, I don't think. That wouldn't have been a good internship for me, I'll tell you right now.
And I remember for the program we had, for the university program, they were talking about like term limits is a huge issue. So term limits are that would be ending the gravy train, the grift, everything. They just don't want to do that. CMW, they derive a great deal of money, influence. So Jenny White Bear, thank you. Joel Valdez, you needed what?
Oh, Mitch McConnell. Oh, by the way, make sure to clap. And if you have any spare change or spare change, Oh, wonderful, the wonderful moonbeam. Uh, Mr. Ricardo, what am I doing in this den of ill repute?
Joe Valdez, Thomas O'Connor, CMW, Jenny, Joel Valdez, Christina B. Kevin, thank you so very, very much. Um, so let's continue. Um, Milk does a body good. The First Amendment letter contains chilling passages relaying Democratic lawmakers' attitudes. They want more moderation. It's not absolute. The Bill of Rights protects speech that is not illegal. We already have laws protecting people from harmful speech. I mean, it's like so basic. You use basic logic. Amazing subplot of Twitter Hunter laptop affair was how much was done without the knowledge of Jack Dorsey. I don't believe that. And how long it took for the situation to get. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that at all. So what was he doing? Meditating the whole time? I just don't believe that at all. Toughen out. Thank you. Joel Valdez. Joel is one of the few people that gets my jokes. Joel, I think we were separated at birth. Joel Valdez. Thank you. The problem with hack materials ruling, several sources said, was that this normally required an official law enforcement finding of a hack. But it's like, they're not even sure that DNC was. They got a third-party tech firm paid for by Democrats, and then there was an assessment. Because Teddy Ruxpin from the Kremlin, got into the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheating and informing the minds of people. And they were gonna vote for Clinton. But then the DNC email showed that Trump, and then the Democrats, and then Clinton lost. The problem was but such a finding never appeared throughout executive described. They're always like, we just didn't know. The fog of conflict, It's been a whirlwind 96 hours for me, too. There's much more to come, including answers to questions about issues like shadow banning. I had I'll never get back on Twitter, but I had 30,000 subs. Or 30,000, 28,000 followers. And then suddenly, nobody listened to me. Or nobody would retweet, my nothing. Good night, everyone. Thanks to those who picked up the phone the last few days. So these issues are not limited to the political right. These issues are primarily the political right. They're not limited. The political left that actually agrees with the political right, because logic and reason are independent of political party, So they didn't care about the First Amendment. The First Amendment is detrimental to the Democratic Party. Joel, Jenny, CMW, Thomas, Kevin, Christina, thank you. Everybody here, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you so much. I cannot do this without you. It's about control. It's about influence. They don't want suspicion, distrust, contempt, disdain leveled at them. They want to control the emotion. I have to write a book or an article or something on the past 7 years have been a battle for emotion, not reason or logic or information. When they talk about information that misinforms, they don't mean information that misinforms. All they do is disseminate information that misinforms. They don't care about that. Oh, Valdez! They live in a very foggy world, apparently. Exactly. They care about emotion. Ladies and gentlemen, Twitter is about emotion. Did you know that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you know that Twitter has nothing to do, in most cases, well, okay, within politics, it has nothing to do, Twitter, with information. Information will tell you that poverty is up. When the 90s rockers talked about tax cuts for billionaires, yeah, we had record low poverty under Trump in 2019 before Democrats tanked their state economies gleefully. And that was not Trump's fault. That was their decision. They did so gleefully. And it doesn't matter if a government official told them to do so. It is completely irrelevant. The government is routinely wrong on a lot of things. It is routinely wrong on a lot of things. It is completely irrelevant whether there's an appeal to an authority that happens to be wrong. We had record low poverty under Trump. It's a moral imperative to vote for Trump in 24. We had record low poverty. We have poverty increasing, layoffs increasing, inflation through the roof, and it's going to get worse. When other countries actually allow their economy to actually function, which is not like we can talk about one country in particular, where the whole mess started, not Trump's fault. More people lost their lives in the first year of mashed potato brains. So it's about emotion. They want you to distrust Trump. They don't want you to distrust Democrats. When Trump defeated Clinton, he did so in an unethical way, and he was helped by another country. That's not denial. But when Trump denies their victory, it's the end of the world. You're talking about the biggest hypocrites, and these people are so arrogant.
Oh, why are people? Why do people believe lies?
You lie all the time. You lie all the time. Mikey Barbie! Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Mikey! Merry Christmas! Mikey Barbie, Merry Christmas to you and to everybody here. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody, and happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, have a beautiful, God bless you, happy season. You have people like, Elon Musk he's doing what we would have done. Yeah, and he's limiting it at that. What Democrats did was Herschel ballot. Thank you, Herschel. What Democrats did was they said harmful speech is anything that is detrimental to the Democratic Party. Anything detrimental to the Democratic Party is harmful speech. Anything detrimental to the Democratic Party. Anything that exposes corruption, reveals criminal activity. No, we can't have that. Because they were traumatized by the DNC emails. Which, by the way, they weren't traumatized initially. When the DNC emails came out, they were laughing. I remember I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I remember the Hillary bots were laughing. Haven't heard that phrase in a while, huh? The freak! Any mention of foreign governments? No, it was just Nina. Hello. It was just what employees were doing. It was what employees were doing to silence the truth about the Democratic Party. The truth. Not lies in a Steele dossier. Not Trump compelled. Trump did not tell anyone that day in January to do anything. It was Democratic politicians who said, get in people's faces, literally telling people to commit crimes. Getting into a person's face is a criminal act in most cities and counties. You get into someone's face and yell at them. I forgot what the statute is, but it can be viewed as assault. Part 2 tomorrow, that's right. Mr. 05, yeah. Old Town, hello. It's about emotion, people. JP, hello. Splendid again. Mikey, thank you. Merry Christmas, Mikey. Thank you. I don't believe in it, although I have no reason to I think Matt Taibbi is an amazing journalist. I respectfully I don't believe that Jack Dorsey didn't know about it. I think Jack Dorsey was a part of all of this. There's no way he wasn't. I mean, I can't imagine the person who runs Twitter not knowing what's going on. Everyone knew what was going on. When you had Trump, caution, caution. Blinking lights. Trump is speaking. Don't listen to him. Don't believe him. Oh, well, it's true that Trump, this is how Trump, it is true, something that he's saying, maybe 10% of it. But there's no reason to distrust. Oh, Trump. It's about emotion, ladies and gentlemen. What they did was they had the House and the Senate. They were able to do this because they have the House of Representatives. And they do this with every platform. They do this with every platform. Okay? They intimidate platforms and they say if you allow too much discussion on things that are detrimental to the Democratic Party, it's a huge problem. But if it's a Steele dossier, no problem at all. Keep talking about it. Steele dossier, totally fine. Totally fine. And I mean, you have a situation where the truth is detrimental to Democrats. The truth is something the Kremlin wants you to know. Kamashwari Kate! Festivus for the rest of us. Holiday for some, Seinfeld. Festivus for the rest of it. Yeah, exactly. Happy Festivus. Kamashwari Kate, thank you. I hope all is happy Festivus. Kamashwari Kate, thank you so very, very much. I just don't think that Dorsey didn't. I think that he had to have known. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way he didn't know. There's no way he didn't know. You know, I mean, you have a situation where there's not one Trump supporter. There's not one Trump supporter at the Washington Post. Not one. It's 70 plus million Americans, almost half the electorate. Not one at the Washington Post. Not one. Not one at CNN. Not one at the New York Post. Not one at Twitter. And then people go, it's not bipartisan. It's not a partisan thing. I mean, you have Republicans. There are Republicans who don't like Trump. How can you have a political party that doesn't rally around the person that actually was president. How does that even work? And I'm like, oh, Trump, we gotta move away from Trump. That's the only reason Republicans won. Do you think somebody like me, who was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, would suddenly flock to Chris Christie? Eric Samurai, you think I'm going to go and suddenly vote for Chris Christie in New Jersey? Krispy Kreme. On the short on this channel, a Republican should thank God for Donald Trump. There's a clip of Chris Christie's like getting upset with somebody at a town hall, and he says, "If you're gonna speak to me this way, I have no reason to even talk to you." This is like, and then they say Trump is so mean, he's so horrible. The man has no patience, Trump, for petulant people. And they say, well, he's petulant. That's true. He could be at times, but the only thing I would say with Trump is he shouldn't have. There are certain moments where he should have, because a person culturally is important to sports or to, athletics. You don't have to always go and hit back immediately. That's the primary criticism, I would say. You don't have to constantly hit back, immediately hit back. That's the only thing I would say. And so sorry about that. It's I mean, we had 400 people and now it's back to 222, but I apologize, but sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Tough it out. Thank you. Tough it out. Thank you so very, very much. Let's see if you can see me and hear me. Can you see? If you can see and hear me, type in the name of your favorite dessert. If you can see and hear me, type in the name of your favorite dessert. Hot fudge sundae, apple pie, whatever. It just keeps on. What is going on with this stream? What is going on? Type in the name of your favorite movie. Chocolate mousse. Chicken. Was it pie? Yes. Yes. Baklava. Love baklava. Love baklava. Cheesecake. Love cheesecake. What's Rita? Funnel cakes? Apple pie. Love apple pie a la mode. Oh my god. Love apple pie. Cheesecake. Oh my god. Eric Samurai. Pineapple upside down cake. Eddie, good night. It's right, Mitch. That's right. So, Landon, hello. Peach cobbler. All right, and tell me the name of your favorite movie. What's your favorite movie? What's the name of your favorite movie? Favorite movie, ladies and gentlemen. Favorite movie. Favorite movie. That's a good one. Blues Brothers, an amazing one. So, Blazing Saddles is amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, That's a good one, too. So, ladies and gentlemen, the main issue is he got caught, and Padre speaks. H.A. Batman, it's me, Mitch. It won't let me. It won't let Padre Speak send you more super chats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Padre Speaks. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Padre Speaks. Greatly appreciated. I do appreciate. I do appreciate your support. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Thank you. Thank you so much, Padre Speaks. Thank you. The issue, ladies and gentlemen, Padre Speaks, everybody here, is that they were caught yet again. And I mean, we all knew this. See, that's the thing. We all knew this. We all knew that. We all knew that Twitter sided with the Democratic Party. Democrats don't even have a functioning primary. So they're always up to shenanigans. They're always constantly up to shenanigans. It's a great one. Never Ending Story is a fantastic one. Tahitian Pearl, that's an amazing one. Padre Speaks, thank you again. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you so much. They're up to no good. And you have to understand, this happened because they have the House. This happened because they have the House of Representatives. You don't have the House of Representatives, you're not going to get away with influencing, social media companies. Okay? And so what happens is they'll write a letter. See, we never had this. Even 10, 20 years ago. There wasn't a Twitter. There wasn't a gatekeeper. There wasn't an intermediary, a conduit. You could say, well, news was a conduit, but see, again, like, you would have to read a newspaper. And a newspaper, like, generally, even the New York Times and Washington Post, they had a bias towards Democrats, but it wasn't an apoplectic, hysterical bias. If you go to the bookstore, if you go to Barnes & Noble, and you go to the magazine section, you're not going to find Trump bad, Trump horrible, oh my God, Trump dinner, Trump this. You're going to find different publications trying to sell their magazine, because magazines are very difficult now to actually sell. And it's not only, they're not focused on Trump. Online is different. The internet is completely different. Read, hello. The internet is different because with the internet, you can funnel and foment and promulgate as much emotion as possible that benefits your political side. You're not going to, if you're just selling magazine after magazine on how bad Trump is, you will go out of business tomorrow. You are not going to survive. Your magazine will not survive if every issue is about how bad Trump is. But online, that's fine. Online is just fine. You don't need to actually have a competitive advantage online. You can make money. Like, if I was a deranged never Trumper, I'd have 5,600,000 subs right now. Because all I would need is suspicion. You know how many people are suspicious of Trump? You don't even need to make any logical, rational argument. You just repeat whatever is on CNN. That's why you have million sub channels that have 5,000, 6,000 views per segment like I do. It's because there's only so much you can extract from disliking Trump anymore. It is there's a diminishing returns to disliking Trump. Mad Magazine was fantastic. Cracked was great too. National Lampoon was pretty good too. But you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where the pendulum, when people say like, oh, nothing's ever gonna happen, nothing's ever, no, it's happening, people. Get excited. Get excited, like Eric Samurai and Joel Valdez and H.A. Goodman. Get excited. Get happy. Get pumped up. Get psyched. Get psyched, ladies and gentlemen. Because everything is going to change. Everything is going to change. Joel Valdez, thank you. Thank you so much. You're a great analyst, agent, no question. I appreciate that very much. Joel Valdez, thank you. Thank you, Joel Valdez. Thank you. Alan! Alan Harkin! Good sir! I look forward to your take on the atrocious times we find ourselves in. Very wise in your analysis, fair in your details, and truthful about the issues that are uncomfortable. Very much appreciate your commitment to sharing and spreading truthisms. Thank you so very much, Alan. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. I just appreciate always your support and your kind words. Thank you. I think, Alan, the future is bright, especially for the next 2 years. The future is bright for the next 2 years. Not economically. I think we're going to. The future is bright for our lives. And God bless you, Alan. God bless everybody here. The future should be bright and happy for everybody. Your life and the trajectory of your life and success and money and happiness and health should only be amazing. But, the economy is going to tank. Even worse, unfortunately. Well, we have mashed potato brains Joe. Between Biden and Fetterman, I mean, you couldn't even, neither of them could pass a sobriety test. Thank you, Alan. Greatly appreciated. Could you imagine listening to a hot mic of Biden and Fetterman? I mean, I would have a better chance deciphering whale sounds or like a pot of dolphins. I'd have a better. Oh, okay, they're hungry. Oh, they want. Oh, okay, they're going this way. Oh, I'd have a better understanding of what they were saying. Come on, man. Oz, living in. He's making money. Oz. The Pennsylvania senator sounds like Yoda. If Yoda was an alcoholic. Alan Harkin, thank you so very much again. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you. Best way, and Alan and everybody here, the best way to decipher the Rosetta Stone of the American political dysfunction we have is asking simple questions. If Trump is the embodiment of evil and corruption in the known universe, why hasn't Garland indicted him? Because it's not like he's trying to cover up Trump the way he does with Hunter. It's because they don't have anything on Trump. With Hunter, they have a lot. They're covering it up because he's a Democrat, because he's mashed potato brain son. Herschel Ballard, thank you. Alan, thank you again. Greatly appreciated for the kind words and your support. Thank you. And then they say like, because I read the National Review, Washington Examiner, and they're very smart, very intelligent, but they're like, candidate equality. And Trump, we need to move beyond him. Beyond him where? DeSantis is great and fantastic because he's like Trump, not because he's like Chris Crispy. Eric Samurai, Chris Crispy. Krispy Kreme. I don't want to go back to Mittens Romney, Paul Ryan, and Mike Pence, a good Republican. When Mike Pence speaks, it's almost like he's speaking as if the goodness of humanity is coming out of his opened mouth. Every breath that Mike Pence takes, goodness and wholesomeness comes out of everything he says. I'm just... And then they ask, oh, are you going to vote for Trump? Oh, I think there's somebody better. USA! Thank you! Real Person Jedi! Twitter Files Part 2. Nice! Elon Musk Q&A tomorrow. 1700 hour Democratic meltdown. Let's roll. Let's roll! That's right! Real Person Jedi, thank you! Thank you! Real Person Jedi, thank you! Alan, thank you as always, sir. Thank you. Mike Pence, USA kicks butt. Thank you again. Mike Pence is a great, good Republican. Could you imagine a Pence dossier? I mean, what are they going to say? Mike Pence was in a Motel 6 in in a small town, and he cheated on Monopoly. Oh no. He's a good, wholesome person, not like Trump, who it's been completely discredited and is unverified and it was complete lies. But they said that he had that they went to the bathroom on him in a Moscow hotel room. But honestly, it could have happened. You know, we need somebody different. Only Trump could possibly have gone to a Moscow hotel room. I mean, it's within the dossier that was purchased by Clinton, so it had to be true. We should go back to Mittens Romney, who lost miserably with Paul Ryan. Mittens Romney. Mitt Romney has a lower voice. Mitt Romney. And Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan also. Paul Ryan. I'm lifting 20-pound weights, and I was Person of the Year. At Time Magazine, I think, Person of the Year. It's so bizarre. It's never going to happen again. Anybody who replaces Trump, it will be worse than Trump. Anybody who replaces Trump... Dan, hello. Anybody who replaces Trump will be worse than Trump. And you have like CNN and Democrats. Hey, DeSantis is better. Hey, DeSantis is going to take over Trump. The second DeSantis, if he ever did take it over for Trump, he would be the worst. It would be a DeSantis dossier. He'd be in Miami. He would they would go to the bathroom on him also in a hotel room. Another country would want him. The same thing. And the Democrats would be like, really? It's true? It's true? They won't have Twitter, though. That's the difference, though. That's a big difference. They won't have the House either. So that is a huge difference. So, like, Trump paved the way. The great thing about Trump is like a Doberman or Rottweiler, a pit bull. He's gonna protect your house. He's not gonna be like you see those on YouTube. You see like the dogs that like you have a person like pretending to be a burglar, and the dog's like, "Hi, how are you?" Count Drago! Thank you for doing your due diligence. Enjoy your content, your level-headed approach. These dark times must happen for the rot to be exposed. I agree with you. Count, I agree with you. Lisa, hello. I agree with you. You know, I mean, it's all being exposed now. It's all, everyone is finding out what's going on. And we're all finding out what's going on. So we're definitely finding out what's going on. And the next 2 years, like I told Alan, count, it's going to be the next 2 years for the economy is going to stink. But politics might be even nuttier. But the pendulum, we're going to have an impeachment of Joe. The pendulum is swinging towards Trump Republicans. He did it all himself. He did it all himself. Exactly, Alan, exactly. It's a rubric, a template, a roadmap. Everyone, including Jimmy Kimmel and, Hollywood and the Washington Post and New York, in unison, will say that DeSantis is worse than Trump. He's more harmful than Trump. Oh my God, there'll be 10 DeSantis dossiers. And then the rebuttal could be, oh, well, DeSantis won't bring that upon him. Oh, yes, he will. Because if he's just speaking the truth, then yeah, he'll bring it upon him. So it is always about, thank you, Count. It is always about, Nico Hammer, hello. It is always about leverage, okay? Political power and leverage. They had it, and look, 20 years ago, the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld machine, corrupt machine, they did the same things. I mean, in aggregate, what they did was even more harmful to the planet, to the world. Because, they started never ending counterinsurgency conflicts. CNN was an extension of the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld regime. Then CNN became an extension of the Democratic Party. Media, intel agencies will slither towards any political paradigm that has the most power and influence. Now, it took Trump 7 years. It took Donald Trump 7 years, people. It took him 7 years to get the House of Representatives. That's like a serious thing. Took Trump 7 years. He didn't have a House of Representatives of his own. It took Trump 7 years, and he basically had to battle the entire American political establishment. Drew Ray, thank you. Thank you, Drew. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. I hope you're having a great evening, Drew. Thank you. It took him 7 years, and he had to deal with Twitter. And let me tell you something. I am this close. I was thinking, should I get back on Twitter? Should I get back on Twitter? And I just can't. Here, let me ask this poll. 422 people here. Let me ask you this. Should I get back on Twitter? I have my thoughts. Drew and Alan, everybody here. Let me get your. I need all 430 to give me their thoughts. Should I get back on Twitter, people? And I'll give you my thoughts in a second. Eric, I agree with you. I am very, very interested. Drew, thank you again. I'm very, very interested to get people's take on this. Exactly, Tammy, I agree with you. Mary, I agree with you. I think that I'm going to refrain for the foreseeable future from ever getting back on Twitter, just because Twitter is like just because Twitter is um Tron. Who remembers the movie Tron? If you remember the movie Tron, you're jumping into EJ. Hello. The only thing that I just it would take too much. It would it, if I had less going on in my life, I would be back on Twitter. The only reason is that I would be very effective on Twitter, and because of that, I get into endless back and forths with whatever other content creators or journalists or whatever, and so or politicians, and so I don't want to create any wave of emotion that would be detrimental to anyone, or I should say, even if the emotions or the views or the tweets that I would write would be beneficial or informative. At the end of the day, people don't want to hear the truth. They don't even want to discuss what could possibly be true. They they're governed never Trumpers and liberal Democrats, morally superior, are governed primarily by sensibilities. The never Trumpers are afraid of being insulted or demeaned by the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats. The reason never Trumpers exist is because they worship media, and they worship media, and also they don't have enough of a base of support where they can just side with Trump, because there's so much, like, if you work for Donald Trump, it's like a big problem. Like, I was saying this last night in the live stream, and I said, look, Donald Trump should have every he should start every job interview with, "You're going to have a great time working with me. After you're done in about 3 weeks or a year, um, you'll never get hired again. And the New York Times, the Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN will try to destroy you. Want to join? Want to work? Because you'll be the best person we have." I mean, he should give like a lifetime membership to Mar-a-Lago. That's what should happen. Mr. Falcon Lamb! Elon is the path to the users. Exactly. Exactly. Elon is the path. Elon Musk. So I don't think I'm never going to get back on Twitter, just because it's the movie Tron, and I don't want to jump back into a video game. I don't want to jump back into a video game. Now, the good thing about Twitter is that, but you know what? I'm starting a newsletter, so it's contactgoodman88 at gmail.com. Contactgoodman88 at gmail.com. Exactly, Tammy. It is a drama fest. Drew Ray, thank you again. Alan, thank you so much. Mr. Falconland, thank you. Alan, thank you as always, and for the kind words as well. Yeah, I'm not down with putting chips in my brain. I'm not putting anything that could be hacked anywhere near me. Well, aside from a phone or laptop, but I'm like inside my brain. No thanks. Driverless cars. No thank you. How lazy do you have to be? You can't drive. How lazy do you have to be? How lazy do you have to be? You can't drive? I want a driverless car. And put this thing in my head so I don't have to think. And maybe, I just put my mouth like this, just feed me food. Like, you can't, what do you, you use technology to benefit life, not to prevent living. Technology is supposed to help people, not limit experience. Like this virtual reality nonsense. In Southern California, this is years back, I saw the most sad and pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. Florida man bear, hello. I saw people dancing, no music, with VR headsets, and it was like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. I saw 30 to 40 people in this mall dancing with no music, and God forbid other people hear the music and enjoy too. Bogan Bob, that's right. I mean, it's like what is the whole VR concept? It's it's okay. I'll look at the screen if I'm playing a video game. You don't need to always be immersed in a digital world. You see a lot of very, very successful YouTubers or Twitch people, they're playing video games and talking politics. It's okay, well, I guess that's a good, routine, but you have to do 10, I guess you have a lot of people doing a lot of things at once, which is fine, which is good, I guess. I don't understand virtual reality. I don't get it. It's like the meta thing. Who remembers the whole meta? Oh, I'm in a nightclub. Yeah, meta. What's up? JG. I remember JG. We would when he was here. Hopefully he'll be here again. But one of the viewers here, amazing person. But we would just joke around. Why do you really want to jump into a digital world run by Zuckerberg at Facebook? I don't think so. That's not my idea of fun. Definitely not my idea of fun. Definitely not my idea of something that I want to do with my life. You imagine you have enough problems in your life, you're kicked out of a club in the metaverse. Hey, what are you doing? What's your name? Yeah. H.A. Goodman, what's yours? Oh, Mary? Okay. Well, what do you do? I'm one of the foremost Trump supporters on YouTube. Security! You're kicked out of Meta nightclub verse. What? What's going on? Oh, no. This metaverse is only for good people who vote Democrat. I mean, it's why would you do that? Why would you jump into an uncomfortable situation? Artie, hello. That's the thing is growing up, you'd have to talk to people. You'd have to get to know people and talk to people in real life. and you'd exchange numbers on a napkin, and you wouldn't have a profile in some digital universe. Like, you had to live reality was you breathed air, and you saw people, and that was it. Like, your reality was actual reality. Now you can jump into Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and you can spew a lot of extreme leaps of logic. Like, um, when I say that poverty was at a record low with Trump, it was. I don't need to make an extreme leap of logic. This is a fact. I don't need to embellish anything. It was a record low. It was in 2019, so you can't say it was President Obama's economy. Hi, Caroline. Thank you. When they say Trump incited and compelled people to commit criminal acts, well, then why wasn't he indicted? He wasn't indicted because he didn't do any of those things. The best way to just understand what's going on is ask simple questions. Very simple questions. Ronald, thank you. I, Caroline, thank you. And thank you for being members, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I, Caroline, Ronald, thank you so much. So they don't have Twitter anymore. And that's not going to be a good thing for the Democratic Party, because they're going to be on the defensive. That's what, angertainment. Oh, it means nothing. Oh, Biden got impeached. Whatever. That's a fake impeachment. The real impeachment is, that's what happened with Trump. So it's like, I apologize. The only reason I'm Pluto. The only reason that I did that is just because of the algorithm. I apologize. If I ever have to delete a comment, it's just because of the algorithm. That's it. Not because it, anything, serious. When they say the First Amendment is not absolute, we already have speech laws. So, Mr. Falcon Lamb, if only someone hadn't been removed from Mar-a-Lago, he could have stopped the dinner. I mean, boom, saved it. If only someone hadn't been removed from Mar-a-Lago, he could have stopped the dinner. Yeah, the dinner, I think, Mr. Falcon Lamb, thank you. I think the dinner was a setup. Definitely a setup. The good thing and the bad thing about Trump. The good thing about Trump is that, Mr. Falcon Lamb, thank you so much. The good thing about Trump is that he doesn't live and breathe politics. The bad thing is that the optics. See, he doesn't understand that outrage and indignation over Trump is actually a sport. That's the entertainment. That's the lifeblood of morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats. They love it. Like, I look at Biden, I'm not angry. I just say, okay, he's just destroying the country. That's fine. I mean, not fine, but it is what it is. People like that. They would rather have a terrible economy. They would rather have a geopolitical nightmare than have Trump with a better economy and a better foreign policy. That's the world we live in. Half the electorate would the economy's objectively, people who pushed for the most detrimental policies were Democrats. This is not up for debate. Whether you think it's Trump's fault, and he downplayed, and he caused this, and that's why Democrats tank their state economies, fine. The fact is they tank their state economies. Maybe the Republicans did too. Yeah, the media promoted and pushed one course of action that was wholeheartedly adopted by the Democratic Party. And then they pumped trillions and said, oh, we're the good guys. We're going to give you trillions of dollars. So, so it's like you look, it's like life is life is actually worse off for people economically. When they say consumer spending is up, people are borrowing. Everyone's borrowing money. Everyone's tapping into savings. Savings are being depleted every single day. That's why I thank everybody, Alan, everybody here, Mr. Falcon, everybody here, Drew Ray, everyone here, thank you. Kevin, Joel, everybody here, thank you. Savings are being depleted. People are putting money on their credit cards, and that's what's going on. And so when they look at, like, Democrats are supposed to, their whole image is that they're going to be for the little person, like, oh, they're going to help people. Shane, hello. But Caroline, I know. But the reality is that people are, like, doing worse in terms of the economy. Much worse. Joel Valdez. Trump had the economic engine finely tuned. Mashed potato brains has it backfired. Exactly. Exactly. But they don't care. Joel Valdez, they would rather, half of the electorate would rather have a terrible economy and a terrible foreign policy than have Trump back. You know what it's like? It is like, Joel, it is like a high school class where the cool kids, all the most popular students in this high school class, have tried to intimidate and bully one person, but that one person is Trump. So he's like, bring it, don't sing it, bring it. And that is, like, people would rather be accepted. That's why, like, I got like 8 to 10 friends that disown me. About 8 that absolutely disown me, and then 2 that, don't hang out with me anymore. But the 8 that disown me, it's like, okay, you know that song, I see your true colors shining through. It's like, you're going to let politics get in the way of, like, a 30+ year friendship? Okay. So I know, like, what type of human being you are. Thank you, Eric. Samurai, thank you. But if just a couple years of CNN and the New York Post, the Washington Post, New York Times, sorry, New York Post is great. The New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, Jimmy Kimmel, if it just takes that, if you are so susceptible to the propaganda where you don't want to actually find out how your lifelong friend, family member is doing, because you've convinced yourself that you're fighting against the authoritarians as you actively suppress speech and want to do away with the First and Second Amendment and accuse, like, half the electorate of bigoted things that, by the way, Biden is, like, while at the same time excusing Biden's long history from the crime bill to what he told Charlemagne the God. I mean, it's like these people have nothing to say. Like, they're so clueless and ignorant about the corruption and criminality with Hunter and Hillary's servers and all of these things. They don't care because they're not like, they're not aware, nor do they want to even learn. Everything is a visceral reaction, a tribalistic allegiance. It's like a cult. In a cult, the leader of, that despicable group tells you not to be friends, tells you not that you should be loyal to the cult. So, Democrats demand absolute allegiance and authority and obedience. And if you are, they view voting for Trump as like a sin, heresy, blasphemy. It is a religion. They've turned politics into a religion, not realizing the hypocrisy on their end. So when the Lincoln Project and Bernie Sanders vote for the same person, when poverty is up and they can't even admit that, when that country gets invaded in Europe under their watch, crime is up, real wages down, they still can't admit it. They still can't admit it. It's true. Trump shouldn't have acquiesced. I agree with you, but it really wasn't like. Oh, I mean, like the thing with the shutting down economy, I should say, regarding that. He should never at that in his last year in office. He should never ever ever have given certain bureaucrats that much of a voice. I mean, he made so many missteps, but at the same time, he was never in politics before. He didn't have a machine around him. Can you imagine Biden without like a machine, without handlers, without people around him, directing him so he doesn't walk into a wall? He flow. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a big, huge, ladies and gentlemen, a huge. Norman, let me look at. Hold on one second. Let me see that. Mr. Falcon Lamb. Wasn't, yeah, but Spectrum, now Elon may have saved the narrative to redirect obvious Trump setup. John McCain's curse. Yeah, I mean, the message board I actually think was a Democratic. Like, I told everyone in 2018 it was harmful, very harmful and I actually debated one person promoting it. And thank you, Mr. Falcon, thank you. And I just that was a very harmful thing that deceived a great many good people. But I was at the forefront in 2018. And the thing is, like, there's going to be ups and downs. And at the end of the day, don't bet against Trump. Mr. Falcon, thank you. I think at the end of the day, good things are going to happen eventually for Trump. And they are right now with Elon Musk. But, a message board saying that was a manipulative tool. Like, for example, the way like soothsayers, let's just say, manipulate is they'll find some kernel of truth and then try to elaborate on that, and then they'll be wrong, and they'll be right about something. And, you see, I'm right. Wrong, and they'll say, you know what? I have this premonition. I have this, and so it's like never trust anything on the internet without actually looking at who is telling you something. That's one thing to remember. Mr. Falconlam, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean, the dinner, nobody's going to really remember that dinner. And people actually kind of understand now that, what happened with Ye is tragic. As a Jewish American, I don't condemn or dislike him. I just wish that he didn't make it popular. He didn't popularize the anti-Semitism, because that's what Kanye is doing, unfortunately. But he's doing it out of a lot of pain that he went through in the record industry and Hollywood. But that's a problem with the actual industry, a despicable, nefarious, sinister industry. You could replace any group of people you want, or groups of people, or individuals I find it statistically impossible that every single individual that did him wrong was a person of my faith. So when he's painting everyone with the same brush, he's doing exactly what the 1930s, 1940s Germans did. But again, he's doing it because he cannot process or accept the pain that he's feeling. And he doesn't know actually how to go after legally or refute or defend himself from the people that hurt him. Individuals. If individuals are trying to destroy your life, then you can sue those individuals or you can call out those individuals. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to make your voice muted, irrelevant. You don't want to play into the hands of your adversaries or enemies. Never play into their hands. Okay? There's a time where kind of like performance art or satire or, you know, like there you can pick and choose certain times or, but like what happened with him, he's just spiraled into this like unhappiness, and he surrounded himself by people who were using him. And here's ultimately like he's not actually hurting or getting back, or he's not experiencing any retribution or revenge against those that did him harm. What he's doing, unfortunately, is playing directly into the hands of his adversaries. Ye has adversaries, individuals who did him wrong, not an entire group of people, not a religion, not a faith, not a background, not an ethnicity. Specific individuals he can sue, specific human beings, individuals that he can call out, that he can on Twitter. He could, well, now and then we can. But see, the thing is, like, if you have adversaries, you don't want to lose the football game or lose the rivalry or lose. You want to be able to defend yourself in a legal, peaceful, and effective and just or like rational manner. So, the 15 minutes of the 15 minutes of whatever it is Ye created is not going to help him battle any specific individuals who did him wrong. If anything, what he's done surrounding himself with his new friends is making his voice and his influence and completely dwindling his power and influence to nothing. I mean, if you have $1 billion and you are a worldwide celebrity, and it takes you 5-6 days to completely go from a voice to now no voice, you can say that, like, yeah, you know what? I mean, there were a number of people that experienced exactly what Kanye West experienced, but they didn't target an entire group of people. They rebounded. They did that to Andrew Tate. Or you could say like Andrew, like, they did, like, you could say tech companies or individuals did that to him, but he rebounded. There's a way to kind of like, it's easier said than done, but if you have enough money to, like, Angela Goodwin, Trump is a sore thumb, lives by the right morals as we all do, but he also does right ethically too. Now Elon does similarly, and they broke the norm. As for Kanye, his ex is the representative of why did not expose them. He sold out. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think that there were people around him that steer. You know what? I mean, it could be that he was steered. Angela, thank you so very much, by the way, for your support always and your kind words always. And thank you. I think that he was steered in the wrong direction deliberately. I think deliberately Ye was steered in the wrong direction and manipulated. Something happened within the past 2 weeks because he was communicating in an effective manner. And he was with Tucker Carlson, I think. And then in between Tucker Carlson and I forgot when he started with, just, saying things that were illogical and completely irrational about people of my faith or background. If you have a problem with an industry or with individuals, go explain the individuals what they're doing specifically. That's like the boxing game is full of promoters. And Angela, thank you so much. The boxing game, Don King, if you look at like Larry Holmes and Mike Tyson talk about Don King taking, in some cases, millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, according to them. More than that. Like, Larry Holmes talked about fighting like 1 year and only getting paid $500 for like a bunch of fights as a heavyweight. And he's Larry Holmes. That's the boxing game. If you replace the individuals that Ye doesn't like with individuals who are of a different faith, you're still going to have the same record industry. You're still going to have the same exact record industry. You could look at like record executives in all different genres, some of which are not people of my faith, but are in prison now. I'm not going to say like the specifics, but they're in prison now for ending people's lives and doing horrible things. I mean, the record industry and Hollywood, Angela, and everybody here is a very, very nefarious and despicable industry. It's an industry where there's talent, but then the talent is sold. Like a movie has actors with a great deal of talent and writers, but you have to sell that. You have to sell, and the record industry contracts. I mean, these things are not like the work of one faith. They're the work of an industry that is designed in that manner. So, Ye could have, I think he had his own record label. He probably could have had his own production company. He was going to start his own bank. So I don't understand. Like, at a certain point, I get the pain, but he had $1 billion or hundreds of millions. Like, he could have done a million different things to protect himself from any individual trying to go after him. But he didn't do that. Instead, he blamed an entire group of people that have experienced, I can't even explain. And Democrats, this is the thing, they cry wolf every second with Trump for the past 7 years. When there's an actual issue with a person like Ye who's making it, everything they accuse Trump of, Ye is actually doing. But Trump wasn't doing those things. But to them, they lump everything together. So when you have an actual serious issue where somebody of massive stature is actually stating things that can harm innocent people, then you know what? It's like Democrats have diluted words. They've diluted everything. So, Angela, thank you again. I do think that people around him, possibly, who knows, possibly people linked to his wife, or worse than that, manipulated him into this spiral. I don't think that he has any mental issue at all. People say, "Oh man, I don't think that at all." I just think he's scorned and hurt, and he can't manage his pain. That's all. And he has to. Him lashing out is a way to accept the pain that he's going through, but at the same time, he's hurting a lot of innocent people. So it's a sad thing. I don't condemn also, like, yeah, it's offensive, very offensive to me. And it's very hurtful to me what he says as a Jewish American. But I'm not going to condemn because I don't like that. The condemnation machine is played out. Democrats have run that into the ground. Who am I to condemn? I condemn people who end people's lives, who commit atrocious crimes. Yeah, I condemn them. But I don't condemn somebody for obviously spiraling out of control. I hope God bless him, that he finds himself and says, my God, what happened? Because he can do that. Like, he can actually, Kanye West, yay, can actually rebound tomorrow. If he says, look, they're specific individuals, I'm going to, like, explain what these individuals are doing to me. But again, I shouldn't have painted everyone with the same brush because that's very bad. And then, like, the issue, like the emphasis on words, like, well, it's it's those people. It's like, well, oh, here we go. And Democrats also, they've done a number on vocabulary as well. So it's almost like sometimes people in this you have there's so, like, because of the internet and because popular culture now, like, because, like, social media allows everybody on the planet a voice. Sometimes, and even Trump is guilty of this sometimes people with large platforms want to shout as loud as possible without realizing what they're yelling about. And I think that is a big issue. Angela, thank you again. To my super chat, Alan, Angela, everybody here, thank you again. But I don't condemn, like, I don't condemn Ye. I just wish him the best, and that I hope that, like, through logic and reason and rational thought, he can come to like a happier place in his life where he can understand, hey, you're hurting people, man. You're hurting people. You're hurting people you don't know. You're painting a lot of people, everybody, millions, 15 million people with the same brush. There's only 15 million people of my faith on the planet, so, or my background. Of course, I'm speaking in a long-winded manner because of, you know what, the robots. But before I speak to you, I speak to robots. Do you understand that? Alan, Angela, everybody here, Eric Samurai. I'm not speaking to you right now. I'm speaking to robots first, and then the robots. Before you get my words, the robots get the words first. So now the only thing that's left is for me to become a robot and put one of Elon Musk's things in my brain. Not. Why would I even do that? Why would I put a chip in my brain? Why would I put a computer chip in my... Please tell me why I would do that. What is the point? What is the point of that? I don't even understand why you would put a computer chip in your brain. Why? Why though? I don't get it. Why? Ronald, hello. Ricky, I agree with you. My whole thing is, like, the whole thing with Ye is that if you are on a microscopic scale, like, thank God nobody knows who I am. You know, very, very rarely people will, like, very rarely, maybe take a second look or maybe like say, oh, you're H.A. Goodman. But that's, like, very rarely. Thank God, like, out of 99 out of 100 times, nobody knows who I am, which is fantastic. But if you are powerful and you have a voice, or, like, on a microscopic scale, people try to, harm me in terms of my career, or people try to go after me and harm me. Numerous people. not physically, but in terms of politics. There were a number of people that tried to take low blows and try to hit me under the belt, or not even hit me on the belt, because like there's nothing really that, I've lived a good life, thank God, but like try to disparage me or demean me, or you know try to hurt me from a political standpoint. And every single one of those people, numerous people, it didn't work out well for them. And that's because in the Amazon, there's a certain like reptile or frog that, like, and this is not like, I'm not trying to like make a correlation to the Pepe meme, but I'm like, it's actually even red. I think this frog is red. Hold on one second. If you look, there is a poisonous frog in the Amazon. So, yeah, it's this one. So, my whole life, I've kind of like been this little frog right here. And if like you try to devour me, and then you get more than a stomach ache. And that's kind of like what's taking place in my career, because I stay in my lane, and I'm actually like my own like annoying self, and I really don't care. Like, it's not like a popularity contest. Like, high school was a long time ago, and even high school, I didn't really care. You know, cared less than most. Everyone cares a little bit in high school, but I cared less than most. Um, but if you try to like eat one of these Amazonian little tiny frogs, it doesn't work out. And that's the thing. I'm speaking in roundabout terms, obviously. Okay. But even me, like a very small voice, and the interesting this thing also is like, I got hit pieces written by people of my faith and background against me. I didn't blame my faith and background. Like, I feel for what Ye is experiencing, but at the same time, he's kind of making his own bed, because you have to learn how to deal with your adversaries. You don't play into their hands. I'm not going to go ahead and throw 5, 10, 20 interceptions if I want to win a championship game. That's right, Ronald. That's right. And I would give that advice to Trump also. Like Donald Trump, like sometimes he plays into his adversary's hands. Mr. Falcon Lamb, DJT will need to make a statement regarding it. I think he did on Truth Social, but nobody reads Truth Social. That's the thing. That's the thing. So it's not, though, because individuals are doing it. Individuals are getting him, not an entire faith. These individuals can't be statistically all of the same background. So it's just basic everything from what's happening with Kanye to what's happening like with media and Twitter and Democrats and Trump, and just ask simple, like if you use simple logic. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pluto, thank you. Pluto Criver, thank you. Old Town, probably. Well, that's the thing. You don't want to play into your adversary's hands. Like a couple of times over the years, you had some content creators like using my name in vain, and I'm like, well, let's debate. They didn't want to because they knew like they would lose the debate. See, also, I come from the left, so I know all the tricks, all the deception. I know the good things about the left, and I know the bad things about the left. The left can't acknowledge any good things about Trump, and there are numerous great things about Trump. They can only like accuse him of things oftentimes that he never did. That's the issue. That's the issue. Exactly, Ronald. Exactly. Echo chambers, they're no good. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Gray State, thank you. Thank you, Gray State. Everybody, Alan, Angela, everybody here. I can't thank you enough, people. Kevin, everyone here. Joel, I can't thank you enough. God bless you all. And, you know, thank you for being, Jay, hello. Thank you for just being so awesome. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you all. Tammy, thank you. Eric, thank you. Luke St. Martin, if you're watching. JG, if you're watching, thank you. I'll see you, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Hit subscribe. If you want to be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman88 at gmail.com.